Chapter 2. You don't have to be rich to need a living trust. Once thought to be exclusive to the wealthy and famous, living trusts have evolved today. They're a testament to strategic estate planning that's accessible to everyone. Today's living trusts, not just for moguls and celebrities. Contrary to popular belief, living trusts offer many benefits that extend well beyond just the rich and famous. These legal instruments are designed to provide security and efficiency in the management and distribution of assets. This means that assets can be distributed to beneficiaries without the delays and public scrutiny associated with the probate court. In addition, the flexibility of a living trust allows for detailed instructions on asset distribution, ensuring that your wishes are executed exactly as intended, whether you're leaving behind a modest savings or a portfolio of investments. Additionally, living trusts cater to a variety of needs and situations. For families with minor children, they can specify terms of guardianship and financial provision, offering peace of mind that children are cared for according to the trust maker's wishes. Individuals with special needs can also benefit from the specific provisions that a living trust can include, ensuring that their care continues uninterrupted without affecting eligibility for public assistance. The misconception that living trusts are overly complicated and expensive often dissuades people from exploring this option. However, with the availability of resources and professional specializing in estate planning, setting up a living trust has become more accessible and straightforward than ever before. Living trusts are no longer just for the elite. They're a practical tool for anyone interested in efficient estate management by providing clarity, privacy, and control over the distribution of assets. Living trusts democratize estate planning, making an achievable goal for the broader population. How living trusts are the unsung heroes for middle-income families. Living trusts fit their estate planning needs. In fact, living trusts extend various benefits that align perfectly with middle-income earners and financial realities and aspirations. One of the most compelling advantages and simplicity that living trusts bring to estate planning, unlike the traditional and complete probate process, living trusts offer a streamlined approach to transferring assets. This simplification makes the estate planning process less intimidating and ensures that families can manage their estate plans without being overwhelmed by legal intricacies. Cost savings are another significant benefit. The probate process can erode an estate's value through court fees, legal costs, and other expenses, not to mention the potential for lengthy delays that can sidestep these probate-related costs and delays, ensuring that more of the estate goes directly to the intended beneficiaries without unnecessary discrepancy. Yes, the privacy afforded by living trust is also a notable advantage. Probate is a public process, potentially exposing the details of an estate to public scrutiny. In contrast, living trusts operate in confidentiality. In short, living trusts offer simplicity, costing savings, flexibility, privacy for families of all income levels. The democratized, sophisticated estate planning, ensuring that families can secure their legacy and provide for their loved ones with confidence and clarity. The notion that only large estates require the structure of a living trust is a widespread misconception. In reality, even small estates stand to gain significantly from establishing a trust. The following are a number of benefits regardless of the size of the estate. Probate avoidance. This is one of the primary advantages of a living trust. Irrespective of estate size, the probate process can be time-consuming and costly, with legal fees and court costs potentially consuming a significant portion of an estate's value. Unlike probate, a public process that makes an estate detail a matter of public record, a living trust maintains its privacy. Living trusts offer a streamlined approach to managing and disturbing assets, even for smaller estates. The simplicity is especially beneficial for those who wish to minimize administrative burdens on their heirs or have specific instructions for distribution of their assets. Living trusts give the trust maker control over when and how assets are distributed to beneficiaries. This is particularly useful for small estates, for which the trust maker may want to specify certain conditions for assets distribution. A living trust includes provisions for managing the trust maker's assets in the event of incapacity without court intervention. Yeah. Ease of amendment. Living trusts offer flexibility. This is an advantage when having to amend the trust document to reflect changes in the asset portfolio or family circumstances for small estate owners who anticipate these changes. The living trust price tag myth. What it costs to create a living trust. The costs are reasonable and justifiable, especially when considering the long-term benefits and savings. Let's break down the expenses of establishing a living trust and examining its affordability and accessibility. Initial setup costs. The upfront cost of establishing a living trust can vary widely depending on the complexity of your estate and whether you choose to enlist the help of a professional. Attorney fees for drafting a living trust can range from a few $100 to $1,000. While this may seem like a significant investment, it's important to weigh it against the value of the protected assets and future savings and probate costs, legal fees, and court expenses. For those with similar estates or a tighter budget, do it yourself. Options are available. Numerous online services and software packages offer templates for creating living trusts at a fraction of the cost of hiring an attorney. These can range from around $50 to $300, making it a more accessible option for many. However, ensuring that these trusts comply with state laws and suit your specific needs, it is crucial that you check its history and check the things that fall up under it. Beyond the initial setup, there may be extra expenses for notarization, recording fees for real estate deeds transferred into the trust, and any amendments or updates to the trust over time. These costs are generally minimal compared to the initial setup and can be considered part of the ongoing maintenance of your estate plan. Long-term savings. The most persuasive argument for the cost-effectiveness of a living trust is a potential savings over time. A living trust can save thousands of dollars in court fees and legal expenses by avoiding the probate process. Additionally, expedited distribution of assets can provide financial support to beneficiaries when they need it most without the delays associated with probate. In summary, while there are certainly upfront costs to setting up a living trust, the investment is often justified by time, money, and hassle savings in the long run. The hidden trusts, trove of savings in living trusts. Living trusts are known for their immediate benefits in estate planning, but their long-term financial advantages reveal a covert gold mine of savings. By strategically utilizing a living trust, individuals can unlock significant benefits beyond the distribution of assets in the following ways. Avoiding probate costs. 1. The most tangible savings living trusts offer and avoidance of probate. Living trusts facilitate a more efficient and immediate transfer of assets upon the trust maker's decease. Death. This efficiency can translate into financial saving by reducing the need for interim financial support for beneficiaries waiting on probate completion. While living trusts don't inherit and reduce estate taxes, they can be structured to maximize tax benefits. For example, married couples can set up a AB trust structure to take full advantage of each spouse estate tax, potentially saving significant amounts in estate taxes. In addition, by keeping assets within a trust and managing how, when distributions are made, it is possible to provide some level of protection against beneficiaries' creditors, which can indirectly lead to tax advantages. The ability to amend to revoke revocable living trust provides an opportunity to adapt your estate plan to exchange tax laws and personal circumstances, potentially maximizing tax advantages over time. The comparison between living trust and the probate process is like the epic battle in which the efficiency and cost effectiveness of estate planning strategizes are weighed. This showdown reveals contrast between the two and illustrates why many people choose living trusts. A living trust is something that's necessary for all of us, because we would hate to leave our family here and have nothing left, and then they have to fend for themselves, and people take advantage of that. So a trust is very important no matter what lifestyle you're living in. Get a trust. The comparison between living trust and the probate process is like the epic battle in which the efficiency and cost effectiveness of estate planning strategizes are weighted. This showdown reveals contrast between the two, illustrates why many people choose living trusts. By their true and very nature, living trusts are designed for ease and efficiency. Moreover, the flexibility living trusts offer allows for specific instructions on assets distribution, ensuring that wishes are followed precisely. A costly and time consuming process. In contrast, the probate process can be both sluggish and expensive. Estates that go through probate can find themselves entangled in a legal process that lasts months or even years, delaying beneficiaries' access to assets. Furthermore, as already mentioned, probate often comes with a substantial cost, including court fees, legal expenses, and executor fees that can significantly reduce the estate's value. The public nature of probate also means that estate details become accessible to anyone interested. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. From a financial perspective, living trusts often emerge as the more affordable option over the long term. Although there's an upfront cost to setting up a living trust, the savings on probate fees, reduced legal costs, and quicker distribution of assets can far outweigh initial expenses. Additionally, living trusts offer potential tax advantages such as minimizing estate taxes, which can further enhance their financial appeal. The verdict. When compared with the probate process, living trusts offer a compelling advantage in efficiency, privacy, speed of asset distribution, and cost effectiveness. The choice between enduring the probate process or opting for the streamlined approach of a living trust often boils down to a preference for preserving one's legacy with minimal delay and expenses. What makes a trust irrevocable or revocable? The distinction between irrevocable and revocable trusts is their flexibility and control over the trust's assets. Post-creation, revocable trusts allow the trust maker, also known as the grantor, to the freedom to modify or dissolve the trust at any point during their lifetime. Beneficiaries and assets as their wishes and circumstances change. On the other hand, irrevocable trusts cannot be altered or revoked, established effectively transferring the control of the assets of the trust maker's hands. This relinquishment of control has significant legal and tax implications, making the assets subject to the trust's termination irrevocably. Assets protection. Since the trust maker no longer owns assets transferred to an irrevocable trust, they're generally protected from creditors and legal judgments against the trust maker. Estate and gift benefits. Transferring assets into an irrevocable trust can reduce the size of trust maker's estate, potentially lowering estate taxes upon their death. Additionally, assets transferred may qualify for gift tax exemptions. By removing assets from the trust maker's estate, an irrevocable trust can help beneficiaries qualify for government benefits such as Medicaid. without depleting the trust assets. The cons to this situation: loss of control. Once assets are placed into an irrevocable trust, the trust makers cannot alter the trust terms or reclaim them, which can be significant drawback for those who wish to retain flexibility. Establishing an irrevocable trust can be more complex and costly due to the need for precise drafting to ensure that the trust objectives are met and navigate the tax implication effectively. The permanent nature of irrevocable trust means that mistakes or changes in circumstances cannot be easily rectified, recurring careful considerations and planning before establishment. The pros and cons of revocable trust. Pros: flexibility allows the trust maker to amend or revoke the trust at any time, adapting to life changes. Probate avoidance: the method facilitates the transfer of assets and beneficiaries without going through the probate process, saving time and maintaining privacy. Continued control: the trust maker retains control over the assets within the trust during their lifetime. And capacity planning provides a mechanism for managing the trust maker's assets in the event of incapacity and without court intervention. Privacy protection keeps the estate affairs private as opposed to the public record of probate. No assets protection. Assets with the trust are still considered part of the trust maker's estate for creditor claims and legal judgments. Estate tax inclusion. For tax purposes, the assets in a revocable trust are included in the trust maker's taxable estate at death. Initial costs. Setting up a revocable trust involves upfront legal fees, which may be offset by future savings on probate and expedited assets distribution. Choosing between irrevocable and revocable trusts. Deciding between the two means understanding their benefits and constraints, as well as how they align with the individual's estate planning objectives. For those seeking maximum flexibility and the control of modifying their estate plan as their situation evolves, a revocable trust is often the preferred choice of trust. It suits individuals who prioritize authority over their assets and who desire a mechanism for privacy and probate avoidance without the immediate need for asset protection or tax advantages. Conversely, an irrevocable trust may be more suitable for individuals primarily focusing on assets protection, reducing estate taxes, or qualifying for government benefits. By relinquishing control over the transferred assets, the trust maker can achieve these objectives, although at the cost of the trust's flexibility and ability to make changes in the future. Ultimately, the choice between these trusts should be informed by thoroughly assessing the trust maker's goals, such as asset protection, tax planning, government benefit eligibility, and desire for flexibility. Consulting with estate planning or legal professionals can provide valuable insights tailored to specific needs. Accessibility for all. Living trusts. Trusts are not exclusively for the wealthy. They offer significant benefits for individuals and families at financial levels, which emphasizes their utility in various estate planning scenarios. Simplicity and cost savings. One of the most compelling advantages of living trusts is their ability to simplify the estate planning process and generate long-term savings by avoiding the probate process. Flexibility of revocable trusts, providing unparalleled flexibility. Revocable trusts allow trust makers to amend or dissolve the trust as personal circumstances or wishes change. Asset protection and benefit of irrevocable trusts. These trusts offer substantial assets protection from creditors and legal judgments, as well as potential tax advantages that can benefit the trust maker's estate and beneficiaries. Informed decision making. Choosing between an irrevocable and revocable trust depends on trust maker's specific estate planning objectives, including considerations for control, asset protection, and tax implications. Professional guidance recommended navigating the distinction between irrevocable and revocable trusts and understanding their implications for estate planning can be tricky. You should likely seek professional advice to make informed decisions that align with your goals as you seek out to find a trust. Sincerely, the Boss of Wisdom, and may you all have a blessed day. Blessings after blessings.